So, it's such a wonderful realization. You're going to have it this week. It's such a wonderful realization when you no longer feel any need to control the circumstances around you in order to control the way you feel. It's such a wonderful respite from the impossible task of trying to control the uncontrollable. It is our expectation that in these days that are before us and all of the days of your life that follow, that you will find yourself again and again right in the middle of a big mess, right in the middle of a great big vibrational mess, right in the middle of knowing so clearly what you do not want. But you won't feel the same tension that you felt before, because you will understand that you are doing the important and perfect step one part of the equation, and that you are asking with stronger fervor than ever before, and that in this mess that you are living in any moment in time, that you are launching rockets of desires, and that your vortex is expanded, and that your vibrational reality has become more, and that your inner being is on it in a way that it has never been before, and that you have a new opportunity for realizing, for receiving the vibrations that will turn to thoughts, and the thoughts that will turn to things on every subject that matters to you. For a while we were calling this gathering the science of deliberate creation, but you got nutty about it. You became too overactive about trying to control your thoughts. We don't want you to control your thoughts. We want thoughts to flow forth from you freely. We just want you to understand what the vibrational nature of the thoughts that are flowing forth from you is. We want you to recognize moment by moment the harmony or discord in the thought that you are thinking from the thought that your inner being is thinking about the same thing at the same time, which means you have to come to realize that you have source energy flowing with you and aware of where you are in every moment in time, and where you, more importantly, are in relationship to everything that you've already become. We want you to know that your inner being has already bridged that gap between your belief and your desire, and you can't maintain a belief that goes against your desire and ever feel anything less than negative emotion. We think it is such a wonderful thing when you're moving through your day-to-day experience and you walk into a situation which is the remnant of past energy that has been flowed by you, and that you experience things unwanted, and you know that they're unwanted, and you're having an emotional reaction to them and throwing your own little fit in varying degrees as you attempt to control the conditions, which you never can. As humans are spending so much time, we're representing the manifested edge over here where your friends are and where the stuff you see and hear and smell and taste and touch is. So you're having this knee-jerk reaction to this. And while you're having this knee-jerk reaction to this, your inner being is knowing something so important. Your inner being is knowing that you're expanding in this moment, and your inner being is knowing exactly how to lead you from where you are to everything that you want relative to everything that you've ever lived. Your inner being knows that as you've lived this moment and many others like them, that you have carved out a very specific statement of who you are and what you want and how you want to live and be in the world. Every intention, some of which you were born with, some that you've come along on your physical trail as you've been moving through time and space with others. So you've launched these rockets of desire, and there's a vibrational reality that your inner being knows full well. And your inner being knows in every moment where you stand in what you want to call your now in relationship to all that you have become. So as you begin to put together the things that you've been hearing from us and others, and the things that life has been helping you to understand, you come to this clarity, this new found clarity that goes like this. I'm a human being, but I am far more than that. And as I have human experiences, I'm launching rockets of desire to cause my human experience and that of others around me to be more wonderful than ever before. And if I stay in the mode of just exploring what is already created, my satisfaction factor will wither away as time goes by. I will become despondent as I look at things I can't control. I will feel uneasy as I see groups of people seemingly come together and moving in directions that are not comfortable to me. I will feel inept and incapable as I find myself feeling powerless, or I find myself in confusion about what to do. Your inner being knows that even though you may be feeling some of those things or all of those things in great degree or in slight degree, your inner being knows that there is a vibration of clarity and knows what the path of least resistance is to help you find that path of clarity from where you are. Your inner being wants you to be out here in the world, not hiding away from the discomfort of things you can't control. Your inner being wants you to be out living robustly in this world and having those experiences that are maybe even causing you some negative emotion. But in the knowledge of what negative emotion means, and in the understanding that you can close that gap and come into vibrational harmony with who you are and all that you want, when you have knowledge of how to subtly understand what's going on within you energetically, and you have tools to do what you need to do in order to come into full vibrational alignment with all that you are, then you can be out in the world. You can listen to the diverse points of view. You can pay attention to the things that are going on with no fear or risk of losing yourself in this vastness. You're going to come into your full power, and it is our expectation that it may happen right before your eyes in the days that are before us. It is our desire that you come to know the fullness of who you are, and not just know it intellectually, not just know it conceptually, but know it because you feel it moment by moment. There is something so satisfying about clarity that comes from alignment. And there is something so satisfying about getting ready to get ready, to get ready, to get ready, to get ready. Most humans think, here I am standing over here with things I don't want or without things that I do want, and it feels like such a big chore because I've not been able to do it yet to get to a place of satisfaction relative to that or that or that or that or that. And you make it such a big jump. You make it feel like it is so impossible to get to because this much time has gone by and you haven't found it, or this many things have happened and you haven't found it. But what we want you to understand, and it is our expectation that you will as we are having these wonderful conversations together, we want you to understand that it is a simple vibrational tuning that you have the ability to understand and to apply. And as you begin reaching for the satisfaction of simple alignment, of the satisfaction of simple alignment, not the full manifestation, just the satisfaction of simple alignment. And once you are willing to let the satisfaction of that simple alignment be enough for now, once you are able to say and mean it, I'm getting ready to get ready. And your friends will say, well, what does that mean in terms of the things you want? And you'll say, it means I'm on the way. And they'll say, well, how do you know if you cannot see them? And you say, I know because I'm getting ready to get ready. And they'll say, well, when are you going to get all the way ready? And you say, that is irrelevant to me. The only thing that is relevant to me is getting ready to get ready. Well, how do you know that you're ready to be ready? I feel satisfied where I am now. What? What's wrong with you? You're satisfied with where you are now when there's no evidence of what you want? Oh, there's evidence of what I want because I can feel satisfaction as I'm getting ready to be ready. But why do you claim satisfaction when there is such a gap between what you say you want or you say you are and what you are manifesting? Because I am using a different criteria. I'm using the criteria of conscious, vibrational awareness of alignment. I'm paying attention to my emotional guidance system. I'm finding contentment and satisfaction, and I'm letting that be what I'm reaching for because I'm understanding that if I'm able to maintain for as little as 17 seconds, a thought that gives me even the slightest feeling of contentment, that law of attraction will begin adding momentum to that thought, and to that thought, and to that thought, and to that thought, until in time there will be enough momentum in my vibrational frequency that something more than the emotion of satisfaction will be mine. A thought will occur to me. A thought will occur to me that is so loud and so pure that I can't miss it, and the satisfaction factor of that thought will be so intense that I will know that I'm on to something, and nothing will dissuade me from the satisfaction that I feel because I know that I'm getting ready to be ready, and for right now, that's enough. And they will say, something is very wrong with you. And you'll say, I know, but I'm getting ready to be ready. I'm getting ready to be ready. As you begin to discover, many of you are already discovering it, the vibrational frequency of alignment with the source within you, and you maintain more often that steady place of love and appreciation for no good reason other than that you're not doing that thing you do that's keeping you from it, then out of the absence of resistance, law of attraction will carve a route for you swiftly and directly to all things that you desire. And in the beginning, it will feel to you that that is the real reason for this message. Oh, Abraham's showing us how to manifest the things that have been manifestingly missing in our experience. And we say, yeah, that's part of it. But what's really going on is that we are helping you to remember, helping you to rediscover as these creative geniuses, as these ongoing, never-ending, far-reaching, always wanting more, because you are the expanding beings in this universe. You are the fun-loving otters of the universe. You are the creative genius of the universe. You've come with the purpose of discovering satisfaction while you do the natural thing of expanding. Others will say, what good are you unto the whole if you are selfishly serving your own satisfaction? And in time, you'll be able to explain to them that until you learned how to discover the vibrational frequency of alignment and therefore satisfaction, that you couldn't begin to fulfill your reason for being. And that once you did discover it, that your reason for being became evident in every moment of every day. So that you were no longer like so many people who live in a sort of desert looking out there for some future experience, some oasis somewhere. Instead, you are someone standing in full receipt of satisfying experiences in every moment of every day. Because you are now, through your absence of resistance, seeing the world through the eyes of Source. Source who understands the importance of you. Source who understands why you're here in this body. Source that understands the purpose and the value of the argument that you had with someone today. Source who understands the clarification that came from you and the birthing of or the amending of a desire. Source who understands unequivocally your worthiness and your goodness. Source who understands the importance of you finding the satisfaction that you were born with and that you came here to exhibit in every moment of your life experience. As you are playing with each other or arguing with each other, whatever you choose to do in the days and hours that are before you, it is our promise to you that no matter what is happening in what you want to call real life experience, it is the launching off place for everything that follows. And so, to begin with, we would like to encourage you to spend not one moment being unhappy with yourself or any other about anything that happens while you're together in these days. If you have an argument, so be it. It has value. If you have a misunderstanding, that's just right too. If someone says something to you that hurts your feelings, hooray. Life is working the way you intended it to. Step one is an important part of the equation. But we also know that as a result of this perfect co-creating that we are all about together, that you have set into motion this voyage long before you dragged your physical bodies here. It is our knowing that you have created a vibrational reality that is ripe and ready to be received by you. But it cannot show itself to you. You must tune to the frequency of it so that you can receive it. That's the thing about this creative experience that we are all about. There is no assertion. And even though the source within you and your inner being knows everything you want and where it is in relationship to where you are, and even though your inner being is pointing and encouraging and knowing and calling you home to the vibrational frequency of who you are, There is no assertion. There's just a steady beaming of a vibrational frequency that you have to find some way of matching up with. And that is the best definition of satisfaction that we have ever found. When you find a way to not do that thing you do while you are in step one, and you're able to maintain the frequency of alignment on a more steady basis, so that you are consciously aware of the streaming of consciousness to you, and more important, your conscious reception of it, then the brilliance of who you are is going to become evident to you and to others as well. The other day, Esther sat to meditate. She's doing it every day these days for 15 or 20 minutes. And at about the end of the 15 minutes, as she began to sort of awaken back into her awareness of her body and her day and the room that she was sitting in, this very powerful thought came into her mind. And she said to a friend, I just had the best thought. And then she realized, I received that thought, I didn't think it. And that's something that we're going to be talking a lot about in these days that we are together. The difference between thinking a thought and receiving a thought. Because so often when you are in step one, you're thinking thoughts, you're projecting thoughts, just like you speak words. But when you really get into the receiving mode, when you're receiving thoughts, when you're receiving the blending thoughts of source energy, it will be very difficult for you to know the difference between a thought that you're thinking and a thought that you're receiving, with this one very powerful distinction. If you feel enormous satisfaction, then this is a thought that you have received. It's a culmination of thought that we've all been thinking on your behalf, and you've tuned into it, and now you've got it too. And now in that satisfaction, we are one, you see. It may seem to some of you that we are a little out here on the leading edge of vibration and thought. But we want you to leave this gathering understanding that you are the one who will turn these thoughts to things. And that while you are avidly wanting some things to be turned into things that are different than the things that they are already turned into, we want you to know that while that's all coming, and that there is not one manifestation that you wish for that we do not wish for with you as well. But what really rings our bells is you getting into the flow of this energy stream and living happily ever after as you're getting ready to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, to be ready. And the reason that that matters so much to us, and the reason that we know that in time it will come to matter so much to you, is because there's no ending to what we are becoming. All we can do is be ready, to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, to be ready. When you think about it, those things that you've been asking for and those things that you've been desiring, you know, those big things that you want so much that make you happy for the afternoon, those relationships that you've looked for and then before you know it, you're just taking them for granted, those things that you thought you would just die if you didn't get, and then you got them and now you don't really care that much about them. That's because there's always going to be more. There's always going to be more in the manifestation. The manifestation is mostly always about step one. Oh, did you hear that? Manifestation is mostly always about step one. Manifestations, these manifestations that you've been hanging your hat on and hanging your heart on, that you want so much, these manifestations that you feel that you must have, do you know the satisfaction in those manifestations is not that long? And before you turn around, those manifestations are full of what? More contrast to cause you to launch more rockets, because it's not the being there that it's about, it's the getting there that it's about, you see. And there's always going to be some new place to get to. So when your parents said to you, you're never satisfied, you want to say to them, pretty true. And when your parents say to you, you act like the entire world revolves around you, you want to say, yep, pretty much does. And when your parents say to you, life's not supposed to be all fun and games for you, you want to be able to say, pretty much is. Because the satisfaction factor is what you have come for. Sometimes people worry that we're teaching you to be selfish. And we say, indeed we are. Because if you are not selfish enough to identify what will satisfy you and to find the vibrational frequency that brings it about again and again and again, then you have not reconnected with the energy that you really are. Then you have not replenished yourself with this God force that is there for you. Then you are not in the receiving mode. Then you are not connected to all that is. Then you are not tuned in, tapped in, and turned on. Then you are not the full being that you are. And anything less than that is just not enough for most of the time. Step one is a place that you must be, and you must be often. And when you ask, it is always given, and step two kicks in right away. But your emphasis must be upon step three. You must figure out how to get into that steady replenishing mode. So we have some tricks up Esther's sleeves, and some processes, some of which you are well aware of, and some new ways of looking at this. And it is our expectation that you are about to enter the vibrational atmosphere of continuous satisfaction. It's our expectation that the things that you've been asking for will begin flowing into your experience in great abundance, and that in a very short time you will realize that what we are saying is really the way that it is, that it really wasn't about them. They were just the excuse that you needed to reach for vibrational alignment with who you really are, and that the vibrational alignment has always been the great prize that you're looking for. It's nice to feel the energy that creates worlds coursing through you, and it's a wonderful thing to softly intend something with no angst or resistance, and then to see that intention just unfold right before you. It is such a wonderful thing to be in this body and to feel the cooperative universe acting at your behest, responding to your pure heart, responding to who you are and what you're asking for, just like you knew that it would. It's such a wonderful thing when you come into consistent vibrational harmony with who you are, occasionally stepping into the chaos of what's already manifested, just enough to refresh the vibrational reality and get you going again. Now, we do have to say to you that you have chosen an environment where the contrast is very slight. Step one will be at a minimum in these days that we are together. But don't worry, you have enough in your vortex to keep yourselves busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes. And so there will be no shortage of stuff for us to co-create together. As we are moving forward, we'll ask you what you want to talk about. We encourage you not to spend a lot of time suffering over what you might say when you get into the hot seat. We would like you to feel spontaneous in your interaction with us. Strong desire is a wonderful thing. Soft desire sometimes can even be more productive. We're going to show you how. If you can ramp the urgency back just a little bit out of the things that seem to matter so much, you are much more likely to be in a vibrational place of receptivity. We want you to think about what being in the receptive mode means. For years, we called it the art of allowing. And what that means is the art of allowing who you really are to flow to you and through you. More recently, we've been talking about getting into the receptive mode, because we've convinced many of you that your vortex exists, that this vibrational reality exists, and that the things that you want to experience are ripe and ready for your receiving of them. But we want you to feel the hands in the clay experience of tuning your frequency so that you can feel yourself honing in or drifting away. We want you to feel what it feels like to tune your frequency to that so that you can actually feel the thoughts turning to things in your experience. We've enjoyed this interaction immensely. We can feel the degree of receptivity that you've got going on. We have made many promises here tonight, and there is not one of them that collectively we will not keep with each other. The environment in which we are focused will prove to be the most productive environment or experience for tuning yourself to the frequency of your true selves. This will not be a process of you thinking so much as it will be a process of you receiving the thoughts that we are projecting to you. It's already beginning to happen. When you find your mouth moving right along with Esther's, you'll realize that you're really in the receiving mode. When you start anticipating the direction that we're going with something, you'll realize that you're right in the receiving mode. This is a time for you to discover what true and steady alignment really is all about. And for those who will be watching you, those who maybe didn't come here with you, who love you so much or who can't stand the sight of you, who have stayed back on the shore somewhere, who are eager or not so eager for your return. When you return to them, you will be different to them. And they will say to you things like, you are different. Did you get a beard? You are different. Did you cut your hair? You are different. You feel different to me. And your words to them won't be that meaningful to them because they won't be up to speed with you. But you can set them at ease by saying to them, I think what happened is that I discovered really the essence of who I am, and I'm no longer feeling unhappy about anything. I'm just accepting myself as the worthy being that I am, and good things are on the horizon for me. And they will wonder what you've been drinking, but they will see a difference in you that they will try to describe to you in ways like, I don't know, you just seem more confident, or that edginess seems to be gone, or you just seem more at one with yourself, or you're a lot more fun to be with now, you know. And you will know what happened. You'll know that you changed the habit or nature, that you've stopped giving so much attention to what is, and you're less of a reactor to what is, and you've been tuning yourself to the frequency of who you really are so that you are receiving thoughts and inspiration. So instead of needing to motivate yourself, you're feeling the inspiration that comes forth from within. Instead of feeling that things need to be different, you are understanding how they are, and you're understanding that how they are is working out to yours and others' benefit. You're not freaking out so much, they'll say. When you left, you were freaking out about that and that and that. What's happened to you? Why are you not freaking out anymore? And you'll say, because I understand that everything is working out for us, and where things are right now is exactly where they are best to be in order for things to work out for all of us in the way that we really want them to be. And they'll say, come back to me, my complaining friend. Come, watch CNN with me. Come with me and complain with me as you once have done. And you say, I'll come every now and again because I do need a little refresher of what I'm putting into the vortex. But for me, I think I've done enough of that. And now I'm tuning to the receptive mode where the solutions are. I've been too long in the problems, and now I'm tuned to where the solutions are. We are enjoying you already. There is great love here for you. And what a wonderful time we are anticipating. There is great love here for you. And for now, we are complete.